Welcome to Loose Mesh, the Lacrosse Podcast, the place where the tape's off, the gloves are off, and the stories come straight from the barn. From rookie bus rides to championship runs, we're breaking down the game with the players, the legends, and the voices that live it. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a pro chasing rings, grab a cold one, string up the stick, and let's get loose.
Welcome to the special edition of Loose Mesh. The group chat's been buzzing, the league's been wild, and we've got a loaded episode coming your way. Frick, tell the people what's up.
All right, today we're rolling with the dynamic duo, starting with the man who brings fire with every episode. He's got the voice, the insight, the perfect balance of chirps and charm. Patty Gregoire. Whether it's breaking down film or breaking out a hot take, Patty keeps you locked in from the first whistle to the final buzzer. And alongside him, you know him, you respect him. You definitely heard him dropping knowledge of across the lacrosse world. Teddy Jenner, a former pro, seasoned broadcaster, and a walking archive of the sport. Teddy brings depth to the stories and straight up honesty that makes his show what it is. Together, Patty and Teddy give you the biggest conversations on their Off the Crossbar podcast and a perfect blend of passion, humor, and pure lacrosse brain power. Let's fire this up. This is the Loose Mesh Podcast. Boys, how are we?
I'm feeling great after that intro. Unbelievable. What a glazing.
Hey, Teddy, Uncle Frick likes giving long introductions. Uncle Frick likes giving introductions because he didn't get one, because he was
he never gets an introduction.
Fourth runner-up, a fifth player in the whatever, and thingy. So he likes giving everyone else business.
Just the pigeon of the pod here. It's just as I told her, I'm the pigeon of the pod.
Well,
You're the pigeon, I'm the suitcase.
I'll tell you one thing. I didn't think Teddy would outdress Patty so bad, but the cardigan is absolutely killing it compared to Patty. Kicking the snot.
Cozy, man.
He didn't get the
Cozy West Coast life.
Yep, looking good.
All right, guys. You can basically live inside the NLL. You have to describe the energy going into this season.
Ferocious, really. Like, it's going to be phenomenal.
I think I'd say parity. To be honest, like when you just look at I'd say, and I've said this a few times now, like from fourth place to about 12, any of those teams, I think you could flip a coin. There's so many teams that if you told me they're in the playoffs, they're in the Final Four, I wouldn't be surprised. And that same group of teams, if you told me they missed the playoffs and they've got a top 5 picks next year, I also would not be surprised at all. I think we're in for a really good season, fellas.
Yeah, I agree. So here's a question. Both of you give an answer here. We just came off one of the busiest off seasons ever. Trades, cuts, CBA chaos. What was the biggest storyline that people aren't talking about? What do you think?
Patty, you go first. I got a thing on that one.
It's tough because I think everyone is talking about everything, but I guess the one thing that I will say that not enough people are talking about is Saskatchewan. This is a team that was one game away from stopping Buffalo from making history and becoming just the second team to go back to back to back. And just because Derek Keenan in the offseason didn't revamp his roster or bring in a bunch of veterans on the back end or anything like that, no one wants to talk about it because it wasn't sexy. But you know why he didn't make any of those moves? Because he doesn't need to. He didn't need to. This group is 1 year older, 1 year more gelled together. This was a team that didn't have a single point scorer over 80, but they had 4 guys with 70. Like, this team is not getting the respect it deserves. And I'm sure that locker room is absolutely fired up about it because they're a team that likes the bulletin board material. They like being the underdog. So I'm sure they're excited about it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really like what DK has done. He continually has done it since he's taken that team over. He always has the cupboards ready. He always has the next guy in line to take over. And as soon as they moved Tree, they knew Zawada was going to take that spot. And that's really the only big change they made in their, front 19. So I think another story that I think Colorado is going to have a really big bounce back year. And I know a lot of people kind of look at that offense and wonder where it's going to come from. But, just watching Andrew Q in the preseason and the way that he's kind of taken over that offense, I think this is going to be a team that's going to be a force. Ryan Lee, he's got the knee injuries behind him. I think he's going to carry on to continue to be a success. And they got some good young guys. Owen Ron's going to play out the front door. Thomas Fella is a guy that I've watched for a long time out here on the West Coast. That kid's got some real grit and some nifty hands. So as long as that defense continues to do what they do in front of D Ward, and they got Brider back working that back end again. So I think they're going to have just another fantastic year defensively. But I don't think people are giving this offense enough credit what they can do, and I expect to see a big bounce back from the Woolies.
Yeah, I agree too, and I think people are upset from Colorado about the Robinson trade. But I'm telling you, I know you said a couple lefties, but I'm telling you, Tooth is going to make an impact, guaranteed. I talked to Coyle personally, and the kid's a player. He's got game. He wants it. He's got in shape now. When he wants something, he's got a lot of potential. And I know people are upset about the Robinson thing, whatever, but they got a good first-round pick for that, so they're in good shape. I like that deal all day, every day. And
and Bucktooth is going to be a guy that's a couple years down the road is probably going to be sliding in a big role. He might not be this year. He's probably going to see a lot of PR time, maybe get into a game or two here because of injuries or back-to-backs or whatever. But he's got a lot of good people around him to learn from and understand what it takes to be professional, because he is still pretty young. And to be in that system and around those guys, he's going to learn a lot.
Yeah, well,
not to turn this into.
Sorry, Patty. I was just going to say, we said earlier on the show, you already traded Kelly for Q. You already got GM of the year, so it's done.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, what an absolute fleecing. You get a legit outside scorer with great vision. Like, people are upset about C-Rob, and I like him. Great team guy, can shoot the piss out of the ball. But so can Andrew Q, and he's in better shape and has better vision, can play inside better than him. So you get the better all-around player, and you get rid of a player that probably wasn't going to be in your lineup at all. Like, shout out Selfer, like 100% cool bet odds right now to be GM of the year, minus 1,500.
And it's funny, now that we talk about that, though, it's funny now that Dan Carey's almost pulling a Derek Keenan move. The guy might be a little past his prime. You know what? I'm going to send Mark Matthews and get this guy back. Now Selfer is like, okay, I'm going to trade Robinson, pretty high player, for a guy that scores 50 in his sleep. Like, you know what I mean? It's like great trade.
And he's
just and I think if you're seeing teams, and San Diego's been notorious for this, they're always trying to grab flashes in the pans, guys who have had really good years that still have it, and try to capture lightning in a bottle and sort of build a quote unquote super team. And other teams are doing it, but San Diego continually tries to bring in lefties to fit what they're doing. They haven't really found a guy that's stuck there. And I don't know if Connor Robinson's going to be there 3, 4, 5 years like they hope, but in the past it's been bring a guy in for 1, maybe 2 years and see if it works out. And unfortunately for Patty Merrill, it hasn't worked out. So maybe this one does, but I agree with you guys. Sofer doesn't make a lot of moves, but the moves that he has made and the guys that he's bringing in, getting younger, getting faster, is only going to make that team more exciting.
That Andrew Q deal, that's just an absolute steal. And he's just so silky and so smooth. And just the way, as Patty said, the way he gets to the net and the way he creates offense is just so much different from a lot of guys in the game.
How many winning goals did he get for Georgia last year? How many game winners did he get?
So clutch, dude.
All
clutch.
I think he had 4. Yeah. And that's, you look at what Colorado's had in the past. Eli's always been a big goal scorer. They've had Adam Jones was a big goal scorer. Beezer can score big goals, like energy goals. And we didn't even talk about Will Malcolm as the Energizer Bunny on that lefty side. So I think people are sleeping on what Colorado's doing, and they're just quietly going about their business. And I think we're going to see a big bounce back.
You kind of got into it for the next one, but for both of you, which team has most improved this offseason?
Maybe going to go out of the box a bit. I'm going to say Toronto. Like, I think a lot of people will look at Vegas adding all the bodies they did, Vancouver adding all the bodies they did, but you get Kirst, you get Hiltz, who has just been blowing everybody away in the preseason. English is now in your roster. You get Nick Rose back. Who knows the Snoo situation if that comes to fruition? But I've been a huge fan of Kelleher. That kid has been blowing me. Like, his stock has gone through the roof in the past couple weeks for me. I just think that they saw what happened last year. It was just a calamity of errors and injuries and everything that happened. And now they can just be like, you know what? We wrote that season off. Our GM did incredible work getting us the bodies that are going to make us better. And I think from front to back, this team has gotten exponentially better than what they were last year.
Before you move off that, Teddy, what's your thoughts about Jake Darlson not making that roster?
That's a tough one for me. And I know Patty kind of was shocked when he found out as well. I don't know if it's Kelleher played him out of a spot. I don't know if they didn't have room for him. But I thought he was going to be a shoo-in for that team. But obviously somebody beat him out of a roster spot, and maybe it was Kelleher, because he's really the only new guy on that back end that made an impact. So I think it comes down to numbers. It comes down to left versus right. So maybe that's just the thing. Maybe they just had too many lefty D guys and they just had to slide them back to the practice.
They don't, though. They have a bajillion righty D.
Righties,
Like,
I was gonna say.
it made no sense to me. Like Gash, Harris, Hostrauser, Jubenville, Kelleher, Cree, Rogers is going out the front door, but Weir, like, they have no lefties. And I get, you could say, like, I saw some people out there saying, "Oh, you've got a similar player into him and Justin Martin," but like, I'm a huge Darlison fan. I've been a Darlison fan since that Minto Cup run. Like, the kid is super legit, very, very high Q player. You know, he's big, he's strong, and in preseason, he was a guy that jumped off the page for like right off the bat. And the one thing that I didn't understand at all last year was when you get all those injuries and guys are out of the lineup and you have opportunity, he didn't really get that opportunity. So I don't know if it's just, you know, Cotter doesn't like his game, or if there's something that they don't see that maybe some of us aren't seeing it. With that being said, though, when he gets into a game this year, if he gets into a game, it's going to be impossible to take him out. He's too much raw athletic ability, and he's finally getting more comfortable, not just moving the ball up the floor, but playing within their system and being a pro on the floor.
There's probably a team that might need a D guy or two that's a little ways away, but maybe they should look at it maybe from a hometown, a couple people that work there or something.
That's what my follow was going to be. Have we passed the 24 hours to where it takes for teams to be
That's only a training camp thing.
Okay. So
that was only for during training camp that guys had 24 hours. They had essentially clear waivers. So now that training camp has ended, you can sign guys off practice whenever you want.
Yeah, because Toronto's loss is going to be our game with the Oshawa Outlaws, because we have his right. So I sent a message to him yesterday, and he was saying something about the 24 hours with being released. So maybe he was mistaken or what, but I was refreshing all day just to see if somebody like Toller had hinted that somebody out of the West Coast had picked him up and signed him.
Well, I believe he was strategically not released from the practice roster until that point. So you do have the 24 hours, but again, I would not be surprised. I know for a fact there's other teams that really like his game, other teams that are looking for a left-handed defenseman as well. So if there is an opportunity to make a trade, if there's an opportunity to get him for free, you like that even better. But whether he's playing with Toronto or he's playing somewhere else, Jake Darlison will be an NLL defender this year.
So let's go the other way here a little bit. Is there anybody that got worse over the offseason? I know nobody's just coming out and saying it. Like who didn't really?
No, I don't think anyone's shying away from saying teams got worse. Like, I think everyone in Calgary would look in the mirror and say, yeah, you know, we lost a lot of bodies. Like, we're not the same team. Philadelphia lost some big names as well. No one's hiding from that fact. I think Philadelphia is going to be the team that struggles. I think people are still selling Calgary short. I think Calgary is going to surprise a lot of teams. I don't think you're going to find too many teams that outwork. Yeah.
Calgary only surprises teams if, like we said, I know the goalie, I love him. You show me a good goalie, I'll show you a good coach. But if their goalie can't stop a ball, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean, buddy? That's
and that's why that's why Aiden Walsh was a big part of the Delbs deal, right? They knew what Aiden Walsh could do. They seen what he was doing in Vancouver. You know, the kid's still young, but he's a proven starter. He was good for Vancouver last year before Delbs came over. So, you know, I think, you know, ever since Josh Sanderson got there, he's been trying to sort of clean that locker room out of guys that didn't want to be there, and guys that were mouse guys and not shooter guys. And he's slowly starting to do that. Sure, it's been to the benefit of Kurt and Vancouver, but Josh is making this his team. That's what he's wanted. And he's slowly kind of building the team the way he wants the team to build. And that's just the way it is. So I think Calgary's going to be all right this year. I think Philadelphia is the team that's going to struggle the most.
I'll pick another team, and no one's talking about it. And maybe I'm wrong. Clip this freezing cold take, but I think Georgia could have a bottom. They could have a bottom three offense this year. I'm sorry. Shane Jackson, Lyle Thompson have been in this league for a long time. Brian Cole is probably one of the most underrated players in the game. But after that, who's putting the ball in the net, fellas? Like, we're rolling a right side with Carter Page and Caleb Benedict. Like, the other lefties, Nolan Byrne, like, just fresh out of junior, super, super raw, like, a lot of talent. But, like, this kid was playing Gloucester Junior B 3 summers ago. Like, where it was just, their offense was, hey, take the ball and put the ball in the net. And wasn't that much further when he was playing with Brampton. Like, you've got Richie Connell, who I'm a big fan of, but hasn't played a ton of high-level box lacrosse. And then Zach Miller, who's a fine player as well. But, and then you look at the defense, a lot of big, fast, athletic bodies, but like maybe 1-2 years under their belt. So for me, like, I like the defense. I'm a huge Jacob Hickey fan. I think this kid is going to be an absolute stud one day. You know, Jeff Henrik is an absolute buzzsaw on the back end. Adam Wiedemann, a guy that I'm a big fan of as well. You still got J-Mac, who's like, you know, a pro. You bring in Trumbull. So I think the ceiling is high on that defense, but you got so many young guys back there. The offense is concerning to me.
The only reason I want to say, I would say the same thing, but the only reason why is I owe pretty much everything to Eddie Como and them, so I can't really say it, but he's in tough this year. He's in tough. Him and the Chi Dog are in tough.
Yeah.
Toller's a big fan of Jacob. Huge fan of Jacob.
No, I didn't know, because you picked him.
How can you not be?
All we were talking about, what were we talking about?
Breakout player.
Breakout player
Dark horse of the year.
I picked Braden Meyer.
Chase Fraser. You pick Chase Fraser.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real Braden. Chase Fraser.
Shut up. All right. So, hey, if you were to boom or bust, what team do you think could finish 4th, 14th, depending on health, chemistry, what happens? Like, what team do you think could finish 4th or 14th in the league?
Well, I think my take at the start was like a bunch of teams. Sorry, Teddy, but I think the biggest no-brainer is Vegas. I mean, this is an offensive group that you bring in so many new pieces. You've got Mitch Jones. You got the 2 boys from Buffalo. John Donville looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He's looking great. You know, Adam Patra. I mean, if I could have a team of 18 Adam Patras, like they don't make guys like Adam Patra anymore, right?
He does.
But you look at the defense. It even got a little bit better. You could fit into that scheme, I think, with some of those guys back there. But
he couldn't fit into the jersey. It's my issue, too.
Way too slow.
Hey, guys talking.
You look at the defense, though, it's gotten better, but then you look in between the pipes and you're still like, okay, I guess we got to score, 16, 17 goals a game, right?
I was going to say, if
maybe Landon Kells surprised
let's
me.
go runner on their games, 40, 45.
It's going to be high every single game, and maybe Landon Kells becomes that goalie that we've been waiting for forever. Maybe Caleb Kahn is a guy that can step in at 18, but man, like, and I don't know their schedule offhand, but like, you're sending an 18-year-old into Bandit Land to play. You're sending a guy into the Loud House to play at 18-year-old. Like, that's a tall task. And I know this guy was facing pro shots in the WLA, but it's a different beast with the NLL. I think, though, like, the offense is going to be so legit. I trust the coaching staff. I trust who's leading there. It's just Kells and even Kahn, one of those guys. They don't have to be world beaters. We don't have to be talking about at the end of the year. Goaltender of the year. Just make the saves that you're supposed to make. There was too many times, regardless who is in net, you watch a Vegas game, they start to get a little bit of momentum, and a squeaker goes by, and you see the guys' heads go up or go down, and you're like, those are killers. You just can't have that happen time and time again. And I think this team has the potential for that boom. But if the goaltending situation is the same as it was last year, it could be a big bust.
I want to say it's going to be one of the O teams, Oshawa or Ottawa. I think, you know, we've seen Albany. They were in last place. They went to the finals, and last year they were 11th. Ottawa's, you know, when they were in the Riptide, they were bottom of the barrel. They made some strides. They went back down. Last year was hit and miss. Obviously, injuries play a big role in everything, but those two teams I can really see making a run for the championship. But if just things don't go the way we hope they will go for those two clubs,
he pulled a McMichael. See you later. Oh.
That's the new verb now, pulling a McMichael. That's how we're saying this.
What happened? Did I lose my mic or something?
And we lost you for a second there, Teddy.
We thought your sweater was going to turn black or something.
Teddy, you're good now. It's recovered.
Technical difficulties.
No.
Now he's muted. The show's gone off the rails.
Teddy says, I'm not hosting.
Go ahead, Teddy.
I think those are just the two teams that can be 4th or 14th. I just think there's so much room for promise and so much room for error on both those organizations that you could just see greatness and also great failure.
I don't think Teeter lets that happen this year. I think he's remotivated, and I think he's going to have a huge year.
I agree, and I think he has more drive than a lot of people right now, just with everything that's in the future for the world of lacrosse. I think we see a very motivated Jeff Teat. I think we're going to see him kind of continue to rise to be the generational talent that we all thought he was. And, I definitely see him dragging that team into the fight every week and then dragging them into the cusp of the playoffs. But there's just so many unknowns right now.
Well, you look at this, though, and it's just, I know everyone's been calling for Batman to find his Robin, and, say what you will about Hellier at his part of his game. I think he's still, look at what he did last year in San Diego. Having that floor balance, a righty dominant ball carrier, because listen, I love Connor Kiernan. He is a fantastic finisher. He's a great mucker and grinder. He should not be carrying the ball. He should not be carrying the ball. And he was one of the ball carriers. You could tell he was uncomfortable in that position. Jacob Dunbar was kind of that guy at the start of the year. Teams started to figure him out, right? And when you could just focus in on 51, the offense is going through 51. That's what happened last year. And you were okay. Listen, hey, if Teeter stings us for 3-3 and no one else goes off, we'll be fine. That's what teams were doing. So now you don't have those capabilities at all. And I totally agree with you guys. Teat is going to come into this season absolutely with a chip on his shoulder. And the other thing, which I've said this on a few shows now, like this blows my mind. Teat had 56 tucks last year.
I love this.
How many do you think were on the power play?
12.
2. 6 goals. How do you
Well, I tell you
that's
how.
got to be.
Yeah, but Patty, I tell you how. Don't let him shoot at all. I don't care who scores. He's not scoring. I don't care. You play 4-on-3. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing now. So now you bring in other guys. Now teams aren't going to be able to completely key in on, right? So for me, it's the floor balance is the big thing. But you get Higgins in net. Higgins, if he can have that full body of work where he is an elite goaltender for the entire season, if all the pieces go together, I think this is finally the year we see this team make the playoffs.
So does that make Ocon their key to making the playoffs, right? Because if Riley's going off, then you got to take a little bit of attention away from Jeff Teat. You got the ball on the other side. Kiernan and Hellier are going to play their 1-2, right? So we're talking about a Batman to a Robin. Does that make Riley O'Connor's season that much more important for Ottawa?
Absolutely. I think he is, and I've called him on the broadcast before, the Teat Whisperer, because to be honest, there are some guys on that Ottawa team where you were watching games or watching practice and Teat's trying to explain things, and you could tell he just thinks the game at another level. He's 1 or 2 steps ahead. Riley O'Connor is one of the few guys, on planet Earth that can think the game at the exact same level. So those 2 guys have such great chemistry. They've coached together at the Hill. They're great friends off the floor. So not even just the fact of, him producing, but just him being in the lineup. You look at the splits. I don't have them in front of me. So much for being a pro. I don't have the splits in front of me, but Teat with O'Connor in the lineup and without him in the lineup, it's night and day. And it goes into that, but it's also, like you said, if you can only have the intention on Teat and O'Connor's not making you pay as well, that's also another big reason for his success.
Who's the most slept on roster in the league?
Look at us making the pros think here. We should be proud of ourselves.
This is a great question.
You didn't think you were getting this coming onto a podcast with me and told her, did you?
Not at all. Thought we were talking about after
I was
parties.
expecting some philosophy questions for sure.
Well, we can't have spelling questions because McMichael failed those already, so those are out. And the spelling was right in front of him, so that didn't work out well.
That's why I was so proud of myself at the start. Good reading today.
It was good reading, buddy. I give you.
Well, you just got the Delbs mentality. Just don't answer spelling questions.
Just sound it out.
I don't know why I'm saying this, but Rochester. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Rochester. Maybe outside of some circles. Connor Fields, obviously, I don't think we had Mitch Bly on the show last week, and he kind of summed it up. He says he doesn't have to be that 112-point guy again because of all the pieces they have around him. Especially now adding Zed, and there's just more weapons. I think this team is just kind of flying under the radar with, everything with Toronto and Albany moving to Oshawa and the moves Vancouver made and Vegas made and Buffalo going for the 4 period. I think Rochester's kind of just flying under the radar right now.
I think it's health and goaltending for Rod. So Rochester,
goaltending health, period.
Yeah, goaltending. Yeah, exactly. Goaltending health. They both got to stay.
Goaltender's health, period. Yeah.
That's got to be a 1-2 punch too, right, Jay? Like one guy's not going to steal the show. That's a 1-2 punch.
And it's funny, I don't know what I was watching. Maybe it was a commercial during one of the Rock games, the preseason games, how they're just showing some of the commercials. And I don't know if he's always done this, but I've noticed more and more with Hartley is that when shots go high, he dips a lot more. And it's probably just, the in his head, the subconscious, like, oh, I don't want to get hit in the helmet, so I'm kind of ducking a little bit more. And so teams are starting to find those top corners on him, and he does play very low in his net. So I think I don't want him to reinvent his style because what makes him such a good goaltender. But I think teams are starting to figure him out. And if once a team figures a goaltender out, there's no going back. So I think that's why Hutchcraft is going to have to always be ready, always be, focused on the game, because at the flip of a switch, Hartley could let 5-6 in and Hazer's like, okay, we're going, switch it up. So you're right. It does have to be a successful 1-2, but Hartley has to drive the bus.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
While we're on that goalie talk right now, so, as Teddy, you love the Oilers, and they've been running with 2 goalies in the last couple seasons, like Halifax, Rochester, in the same boat. Do you think it's the right way to go, or
it's certainly not the right way? It's not the right way to go, or both those teams would be talking about competing for a championship. Look at the teams that have won. Obviously, Matt Vince, greatest of all time. You look, even though previous championships, Dylan Ward, one of the best in the game, especially at that time as well. And then you look at Del Bianco. You need an elite goaltender. You can get away with making the playoffs with just good goaltending. You can't make a deep run without great goaltending, and you can't win a championship without elite goaltending. I don't care what your team looks like on paper, on offense, on defense. You need elite goaltending. And when push comes to shove, the last 5, 6, 7 champions have had elite goaltending. And even it's just stretches at time. Like you just need that guy that and it's a terrible example because he is Matt Vince, but like in game 3, in that second half, he literally just said to his defense, no more. We're not letting them score at all, and shut the door. So for Rochester, I think they have their guy with Hartley. It just goes back to what you guys said with health. With Halifax, it's like, listen, you don't know what you're getting with either guy. Sometimes they're great. It's like that meme. Sometimes good, sometimes maybe shit. But, with Warren Hill and Drew Hutchison, especially Warren Hill, I know everyone is saying, like, listen, they're not going to win a championship because of goaltending. They haven't. Look at their last 2 exits to the playoffs. It wasn't because of goaltending. Warren Hill let up 10 goals in that game 2 against Saskatchewan. And if it wasn't for one of the craziest plays I've ever seen, Mike Messenger flying through the air, jarring the ball loose, Barnable picking up that ball and getting it Hossack, Teddy and I are probably having an extra stay in Saskatchewan in game 3. The year previous to that. Oh, well, yeah, that too. we can, I don't know if we have enough time for the episode on that too. But the previous year, you go back to Albany, they lose their cool. They can't score. They get shut downs. Yes, whatever you want to say about Warren Hill and Drew Hutchison about their play, but the last 2 exits in the playoffs were not because of goaltending. So that I will just say that. Yeah. Do I think they need an elite goaltender to get them over the hump? Absolutely, no doubt. But you can't hang it on the goalies for those last 2 playoff losses.
See, I agree and disagree with that. I don't think you need an over-the-top elite goalie. Again, it comes back to what Teddy said. You just need the goalie to make the saves he's got to make in that game, and maybe make 1 or 2 that he shouldn't make, but not let any of that thing. You give me a 78 by Hill or Hutchison in a game like that, they got a shot at. And that's always what we talked about. You give me a 78 average, you look at the goalie's average, whoever gets 78 and above, their percentage is like 96% in winning percentage of the game. And that's a big key. And like you said, I like Hutchie and Hill. I don't think their goaltending is the least of their worries, in my opinion.
The thing with that is that, yes, if you have a number 1, you're smooth sailings. But when you are switching back and forth, it takes the confidence away from the goaltenders, because every goal that goes in instead of refocusing on what's next, their first look is to the bench. Am I getting pulled? Is my backup putting his gear on? Like they're always on edge. And when you don't know who's starting week to week or game to game, it just plays this mental game with goaltenders. And we know they're not the most stable at the best of times being goalies, but you have to give them the best chance to be successful. And if they're constantly doubting themselves and looking over their shoulder, you're never going to have success. And I think that's just been the case with Hill and with Hutch, is like they never could get on a good roll because they were just always afraid the next one was going to be their last.
It's so funny you say that too, because last year in junior A here, I was Captain Hook. Like, I mean, I was hooked.
I was gonna say that, Toller. I've seen it.
I am Mike Keen of the cross world. And they came up to me this year. Both of them came up to me like, Coach, we got to make a rule. If we start the game, you're not going to hook me. You're not going to hook me. I said, I'll make you a deal. I'm not going to hook you, but if you let in 4 in a row without making a save, I'm going to hook you. And I said, but if not, you got the full game thing. I said, you got the full game guaranteed. And they went on a little bit of run. But last year, buddy, I honestly got, I hooked one of them 3 times. And the one guy said, I'm not going back in. I said, well, you'll never play another game here ever again. And he went back in. But I was like, yeah, get back in. Make the saves you're supposed to make. Don't let shots in the blue line. Like,
yeah, I hear you.
After such a chaotic off season here, and lots of teams are going through like different identity changes and re kind of branding what their team identity are. Who do we think has the biggest identity change in the offseason?
I think it's Vegas, right?
It has to be Vegas.
Vancouver still has the Vancouver is still the mentality they had last year. We're a championship team. We just got better. I think this new attitude, like Mitch Jones, is going to change the culture in that dressing room the moment he gets there, right? Like he is such a philosopher of the game. Like he understands it so well. He always wants the best for his teammates. And, the bringing Kluch and the phrase over there, that's going to bring some energy, some life. If they can find a way to bring Hannah back, like Hannah and Fraser on that righty side is just going to be Sports Center top 10 after top 10. Like it's going to be crazy. So I think they just have a different air about them and a different feel about how they're going about things. And Willie did everything he possibly could to make his team the best they could. And I'm sure he'd like to do a little bit more, but this is a team that's not going to be a walkover like they were last year. They're going to put up a fight every single game. If they can get on a run and their defense gets some confidence and some swagger, look the frick out.
Well, you obviously didn't listen to the first episode because we made a 3-way trade. We traded Hannah to Colorado for Jeffries and a first rounder to Philly, and Demude and 2 first rounders to Vegas.
Sure, it's been talked about.
Everybody's happy there, right?
Everyone. Philly gets a nice tough D and a first rounder because they don't have any. Willie gets a proven goalie and 2 first rounders, and Hannah goes to Colorado. I think it's a good trade.
And then Willie gets Demude, who he could have had Demude in that expansion draft or the dispersal draft. He went with Donnie, which I know there was some debate out there, but hey, now you got both. Now you had the 2 guys who you could have had. Teddy's right. It's Las Vegas. Although I will say, Willie's built that culture in that locker room already over the last how many years he's been there. So they're going to still have that dog pack mentality down there. But now it's just they got a couple of bigger dogs walking around in that pack because you have guys. So I think everyone, talks about what, like with Kluche and with Fraser, what they bring. Sure, they're going to bring a little more offensive punch. Kluch is so underrated without the ball in his stick. I think him and Jones in a 2-man game is going to be chef kiss. But what they bring is like, we've been here before, guys. We've won a championship. We know what it takes. That you can't put a price on it, despite what Uncle Joe's wallet said in the offseason this year. But you can't put a price. You can't put a price on winning, and that's exactly what they've done, bringing those 2 guys in who that's all they've done the last 3 years is win.
He had to have been bored this offseason just having a bidding war with himself for those 3 guys, right? Like he you can't go against Vegas and Uncle Joe's writing checks to all teams. Like who? Do we really think he cared where they went, or is it just like somebody sign up with all of my money, please?
Well, and we're on a group chat obviously with the St. Catherine's coaches, and we're just laying into Mojo. Hey Mojo, your offense looks good. Oh boy, yeah. Mojo is just rattled.
Too soon. Too soon.
No, it's never too
Body's
soon.
still warm.
Yeah.
I mean, the
So-
Brooklyn Nets are like 3-14, so they stink. So Joe's like, okay, well, one of these teams got to be good. So he went with
Someone's
Vegas
got to
this
win
year.
something.
Well, it hasn't been working in San Diego the first handful of years, so maybe he's got
I
to try
know.
to work in Las
Second
Vegas.
house in Bora Bora. But anyways, let's talk about that later. Which player is about to have a breakout season? And you can't say Jacob Hickey or Braden Maye.
You can't say Hickey. You're allowed to say Hickey.
Breakout
I
season.
thought about this.
I said Maye. I say Dobie and them go down. It's Maye time in Calgary with our boy there.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah, my is a great pick. Obviously Hickey is. I coached him in junior with Ironheads his first year, and I mean the kid's just a freak athlete. So that's a absolute phenomenal pick. But if I got to go somewhere different here,
Oh boy.
let's go with. I'm gonna say. And I don't know if this counts as a true breakout, but if the big rig Dawson Theed can stay healthy for a full 18, guy had 32 tucks in 12 games last year, man. With that offense that they have, like he is just a different build, a different animal on that offense. They got a lot of guys, you got Stotts obviously driving the bus. Clark is great on that side too, but I think he can really, Cody Jamieson obviously in the locker room is the guy. But they need a guy on that left side to take over as the guy, and I think he can do it. And he's a guy that at points in games, there's times where he's like, I don't care, I'm taking this to the net. You stop.
I have no idea.
You stumped him. I've never heard him be speechless before.
I think Taylor Jensen's going to have a big year in Raj. I think we've
it.
seen him kind of show
That's a
what
good
he
pick.
has and the speed that he has and the work ethic that he has. But I think he's going to play a bigger role for Rochester this year. And he's another year wiser. And he's in a good spot under Mike Hayes in that defense. He's got some good veterans around him. So Taylor Jensen has been a guy that I've watched for quite a few years. And he's making a name for himself. I want to see him take the next step and become even more successful in transition because he gets up and down the floor like a ton, right? Like you're not catching that guy once he gets going. So I think a guy like Taylor Jensen's bound for breakout. I think Josh Sawada has a big year in Saskatchewan for whatever time he's going to get if they want to go strong, right? So those are just a couple guys that I'm looking out for.
With the thing with Jensen too, like I'm pretty sure this guy was driving from Rochester to like Peterborough for games this past summer. Like the kid wants to succeed. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's supremely athletic. And like when you look at that Rochester defense, man, on paper, it's like they got a lot of the same. They got a lot of guys that can move the ball up the floor. But like, I think they just got to lean into it and just be a team that is relentless, high pressure, in your face. And I mean, your offense scores in bunches. Why not have your defense and your transition scoring in bunches?
Maybe I'm wrong in this, Patty, and you can
Gilray's
maybe
legit.
Eastern guys might be able to tell me more. But the return of Joel Coyle is an interesting one.
Yes.
Because he was awesome when he was here, and he has great pedigree from when he was in junior. I don't know why or what happened, why he hasn't been playing the past couple of years, but I think them getting him back in the lineup, and if he can contribute, I think he's another guy that can make an impact on that Oshawa back end.
Yeah, I don't know what.
He's just like a hard stay-at-home defender too, right? That's kind of like what that Oshawa team needs. Like they picked up Rubes, and that's massive, but he is just like blue collar, stay at home, pound the piss out of you when you come through the middle, and just kind of like quietly do his job. Like he's like a little bit like he's got a little Steve Hoare in him, right? Like do nothing but do it really well.
Good reference.
He's your typical Orangeville defender that just works their bag off, and it just is gonna just night in night out. You don't have to guess what the effort's going to be.
No.
And you are right. That's what Albany, Albany though, that like you look at their defense outside of you bring in Rubes. And Tchaikovsky's certainly making a name for himself, but you look at that defense, they don't have the big sexy name or the guys that people are talking about defender of the year, transition player of the year. But every single guy on that unit are hardworking guys that buy into the system, that are after every offensive shift, guys are going to the bench and feeling their bumps and bruises. They play hard, they get under your skin, they play the right way. That's why when Teddy said that could be a boom or bust team, I don't see them being boom or bust. I think it's only boom with that group. Unless injuries happen, I think that team is poised for really good things this year.
So kind of switching it up, going from the blue collar guy to the superstar mentality here. Which NLL superstar do we think is the most under pressure this year to help, like, make sure his team performs? You know, I know we were talking about Cheater earlier, so that's going to be a good one. But which NLL superstar do we think is under the most pressure to be talking to or be taking their team all the way to the finals?
I don't know about all the way to the finals, but, you know, to get over the hump, it's Wes Berg. And I think that guy's done pretty much everything that he can, but he's going to have even more pressure because, like you said, guys, like we talk about it, it's this revolving door of new offensive players year after year. And it's like every offseason, he looks like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meme of him sitting in the living room at a completely empty room by himself, right? Like he's like, oh, where did everyone go? And then it comes into training camp and he's got to learn new people time and time again. Different guys coming in. Last year, he's got Courier and he's got Courier and DeChico playing offense with him. And they're two guys that should be going out the back door because they're absolute unicorns and those guys don't grow on trees. So for me, it's like, okay, again, now this is Wes Berg where he is going to have to be that team's pulse. There were so many times, and I think their defense is supremely underrated. And I think if Orig is playing a full season and if he's gets a little bit of a bounce back from last year, what this team does, and I don't think it's very sustainable, but they do a great job of it, is it's a low scoring game, comes to the fourth quarter, and then it's Wes Berg time, and he takes over a game. And that's what it is time and time again. And I think we see it even more. There is zero room for any sort of regression for Wes Berg. That's got to be a fine. If for any regression,
his phone.
If not only regression, he needs to be even better than he was last year. And we were talking about him being an MVP candidate. 49 goals last year, almost had 50, was around the 90-point mark. Wes Berg, if this team's going to have any sort of success, he's going to have to be an MVP candidate again.
I think, and maybe it's obvious to me, but I think it's Dixon and King in Vancouver. Everything's coming back home, coming to Vancouver. We all knew this was coming. This was going to be the two pieces that put this team over the top and make them a championship contender, get them over the hump of all the great things they did last year. I think there's going to be a ton of pressure on those two guys to get this offense to be elite in the National Lacrosse League. That offense was good. Sometimes it was great, but a lot of times it was just kind of mediocre. It sat in guys' sticks too long, and too many guys that eventually tried to play hero ball. I think Dixon and King obviously make them exponentially better offensively, which then in turn makes it even more important that they have success and they don't just try to, they're going to come in and exert their dominance, but I don't think they have to ruffle feathers and be like, oh, this is our team now. Just come in and fit in and play the way that they know. They know Kurt's system. They know everything they're doing offensively. I just don't think that I believe that if this team isn't semifinals game 3 or going to the finals, it's a loss.
It's finals. It's finals or bust for this group.
Right. And that's why if those two guys don't have success offensively, that's where the pressure comes.
But it's, you said those two guys, and it's like there's so much those two guys, but you also have Keegan Ball who can go like.
Of course.
It does,
but you guys bring into a team, that's pressure on them. All the hype.
They still got Del
Bianco.
They could fall asleep for 3 quarters, and that defense and Del Bianco is still going to be able to hold them in games. When you look at a guy like Wes Berg, it's like he has to drive the bus. If you even look at other situations, like, and I wouldn't say what you will where you think he is at his point of his career. I would even look at like Tanner Cook. He's a guy that now this is an opportunity for him to be like, you're our guy. You're driving the bus on that left-hand side. This is so. To me, I get what you're saying, but I think that is a collective pressure for Vancouver because I agree. If Vancouver's not in the NLL Cup final, that season is considered a failure. I don't care what anyone says.
Like I said, I said on episode 1, Patty and Teddy, I said if their offense takes over the Buffalo offense of unselfishness, move the ball, who cares who scores, they win this thing by Monday. They beat Buffalo, guaranteed. I bet the farm on it.
From one team that can make it a failure and break it, give us the most overhyped team going into the season right now.
Jeez,
they work for the NLL. We might get them in trouble.
Yeah,
Political.
Patty can't say Halifax. This one, Patty can only say Halifax for all the good answers. Patty can't say Halifax for this one.
Well, I can't say Halifax because I think everyone's sleeping on them this year. Anyways, I think everyone's saying, "Oh, this is the year they're gonna fall off." Overhyped. Like, I mean, I guess you could say
I'll
Vegas,
say Vegas,
even though
I'll say Vegas.
You say it because I don't want to say it.
Okay, I'll say it. Yes, everything they did on the front door was great. Their defense and goaltending is still not upper echelon quality NLL defense and goaltending, right? Like you can't have a super team, but then have the worst defense in the entire league and goaltenders that have, a plus 13 goals against and a 70 save percentage. Like you just can't have it. So I think everyone wants to see them. I agree. Patty's boom or bust with Vegas. They could be fourth. They could be 14th. I just think I don't see them ever being that high with the way they are defensively and in between them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like their defense a little more with some of the pieces they add back there. But I mean, it doesn't matter what you have in front. It's in between the pipes. Toller says it all the time. Show me a good coach, I'll show you a good goalie. Show me a good defense, you'll show a good goalie too, right? Like your defense is only as good as your goalie is. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, and the next question I think we've already really answered because you said like Rochester, give us a team no one wants to say is good, but they are. You guys went from Rochester and the other one there. So I'm going to take Frick's question. Who's the one player you would not want to play against in a playoff series?
I don't ever want to go one-on-one with Messenger, Hossack, or Priolo. I will just run away from those guys. And my ankles don't think I could D up a guy like Josh Byrne. I don't think I could... I think Tanner Cook on a bull dodge would send me across the floor. I would give myself a 1 out of 6 chance of scoring on a Christian Del Bianco, so I'm not that scared of the goaltenders. But yeah, I'm staying far away from a lot of the defenders in our league.
So I said one, and you gave one in every position. So
I know. My answer was gonna.
With the Nets being the
my answer was gonna be
you'd be more than 1 for 6. Like the Nets are huge.
I don't know if
read my book.
I don't know if I could, because that's why I was going to say I couldn't score on a shooter tutor, but Matt Vince would scare the ever-loving shit out of me, man. I said it in game 3. He decided, listen, no more goals. We're shutting the door. It doesn't matter the season he is having, or it doesn't really matter the game he's having. When the lights are shining the brightest, this guy comes out to play. And it's not just the big saves that he makes. He also holds his defense in front of him to such a high standard that those guys know what he wants. They know what he did. Look what they had to change a freaking rule because of the shot blocking for crying out loud. But these guys, honestly, though, they time and time again, they sell out for him. He sells out for them. It's Matt Vince for me. I mean, I think Buffalo's going to, we've hardly talked about Buffalo here, which is crazy to think, but I think people are feeling a lot better about Buffalo going into this season with 48 back in the crease than if he was to retire and we figure out who's going to be the next one, because that's
three backups.
I mean, I don't envy Chugger. I don't envy Chugger when that time does come to find the goalie of the future. That's going to be a tall task.
So our good buddy Brad Challoner from Coaches Talk, he breaks down all coaches' insights. Who do we think is the most underrated coach in the NLL? I'll even let you go like OC or DC too.
Okay. Rob Williams, Sato in Vancouver. I think that guy should be a head coach right now in the National Lacrosse League. He speaks the game so very well. He respects the players. They respect him. He's been around the league for a long time. He's played for some good teams. He's played for some absolute dog shit teams. So he's seen the highs and lows, and that's, can really set yourself up for a lot of success as a head coach because you can ride the highs and lows of things. I'm going to say him, and I'm also going to give love to a former teammate of mine, Jimmy Quinlan. I love what he's done in Sask. Obviously, Jammer's right there, kind of sitting in his back pocket. But being around that team the last few years with TSN and just watching him just be around the guys, you don't see too many coaches out there running. Some guys Toller will be in a drill, taking a shot here or there, but Jimmy's out there running every drill and he's messing around. He's coming out in Fab 5 Michigan shorts and just being one of the guys. And I love what he's done, the culture that he continues to keep up in Saskatchewan. So I'll give some love for Q.
Teddy took half the coaches in the league, so I don't have much of a choice here. But I'll stick with Saskatchewan. I'll go with Jeremy Talevi.
Yeah.
There's not many guys that come more prepared than this guy. the amount of film preparation that he does, and he kind of just goes about his business, and his nonchalant, workman attitude, you can see that his defense, breathes that as well. So got to give a shout out to Levy. I think what he's been able to do with that defense, they've completely bought in. It's a super, super athletic defense, but I mean, he is, with what Derek Keenan has given him, he's figured out a defense that he can build with those guys. So I'll say to Levy.
Nice. What, just to go quick, rank the top 5 teams right now on paper, in your opinion?
It's getting close to bedtime.
All right.
Color, so we got to pick up the pace of it.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Top 5.
Sleepy time. Taller sleepy time.
Buffalo, Sask, Vancouver, Toronto, Colorado.
I'll go Vancouver, Buffalo, Saskatchewan, Toronto, Halifax.
Patty's getting paid for Halifax. Patty says it.
Top 5s.
Patty, I'm not sure if you read the next question, but give us your boldest prediction.
Boldest prediction. This one, we've been asking all our guests this to give like a hot take or a bold prediction. I'm going to say my bold prediction is that Jeff Teat and Dane Smith both break Dane Smith's point record this year. We have 2 guys break the record.
Pulled that one out of nowhere.
Yeah. Really, really going to give you.
Hell yeah, I did. Fake it till you make it, Teddy.
Yeah, Mitch Jones will set the new season assist record.
Which
That offense is going to put up a lot of goals, and he's going to be involved in a lot of them.
Yeah. Which team misses the playoffs that we're thinking makes the playoffs right now? Like just hot take. We got our top 5. We all said so. They're a lock.
Okay,
right?
Colorado.
Top
5. My top 5 are a lock?
Well,
okay.
The top 5 are a lock to make the playoffs.
Okay, if my top 5 are a lock, who should but won't? San Diego.
Guys taking all my picks. I was going to say San Diego.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I'll say Rochester. I'll say Rochester. That'll be my pick. I'll change it up.
Patty, you go first, Patty. Which team makes the playoffs that no one sees coming? Halifax.
Okay. Ottawa. Jeff Teat drags his team into the playoffs.
I like that pick.
It's Calgary because Aiden Walsh is goalie of the year.
Wow, I'll take that bet.
Wow.
Aiden Walsh goalie of the year. That's got to be the hottest take of the offseason.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're going to make the playoffs, he's going to have a stellar year, man. He's going to have a stellar year.
Toll's all about the clicks. That's all he's about.
He's going to have to set the season record for saves.
This is a clip show, isn't it?
Make the playoffs.
Clip show.
Well, he just might.
What's
what it's all about?
McMichael wearing a cardigan next show than him getting goalie of the year?
0.
Well, what's the chances McMichael knows where to buy a cardigan?
Good point, Teddy. Good point.
eBay.
What's the number one storyline we're going to be talking about by week 6?
What is up with Vancouver?
Ooh.
I think they're going to come a little bit slow out the gate. Going to lose a couple of games that they don't expect, and sky's falling. And I'm not even saying like, they're 0-6 or they're, even if they're at 2-2, people are going to be like, oh, trouble in paradise. These guys aren't getting their touches. They'll be fine. Mouse is going to have these guys on in the straight and narrow, but let's just pump the brakes. The team's not going to be a wagon day one. It's going to take some time.
It'll be, will Saskatchewan ever lose?
Okay.
Ever.
Holy, already.
They're 6-0, just about to set the world on fire, is what you're telling us.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone would talk about. If a team starts off 6-0, okay, when are they going to lose next? Well, they just may never lose.
If
Frankie plays the way he did last year,
yeah,
and this team, a little chip on the shoulder after how things ended last year.
Frank's got to be.
I like Saskatchewan.
Frank's got to be pissed off himself too, coming off that Man Cup, right? So he's gonna have a little extra burner going.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated part coming into the season too, right, guys? Like he had 2 absolutely heart-wrenching losses within 4 months. Like that's a tough go for him, and that will either make or break someone. You either rebound from it and it makes you better, or it's something that's going to be in the back of your head for the rest of your career and potentially the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So outside of Philly, we all, we've kind of heard rumblings about Philly might be in a little bit of hot water market wise. Which market needs the biggest season for their team to continue to be successful within that city?
I know they just got new owners, but Rochester, listen guys, you lost the team once, almost lost it again. Show up. Like, you gotta have butts in the seats, and I trust that ownership. I think they're doing great stuff in the community already. They're gonna have a lot of support from the surrounding communities within the Indigenous community, but like, I'm sick and tired of seeing people online saying like they're forgetting about us, blah blah blah. They've ripped a team from us. Show up and prove that you guys deserve a team, because I know there's a lot of diehards. Get to the arena, and that's the best way you can support your team.
I want to tongue-in-cheek say Georgia just because of everything that everyone's been hearing and rumbling about them, but I'm going to go Ottawa.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good one.
they need to have that fan base show out, because I know the arenas are different and the lacrosse markets are different, but everyone said, when Ottawa got a team, the Ottawa lacrosse community had grown exponentially since last time Ottawa was there, and the fans were going to show. Well, they kind of did. Tribute Community Center is already sold out for game one for Oshawa. Again, different markets, different lacrosse fan bases, but this is a team in Oshawa that's going to sell out almost every night. It's going to be wild in there. Ottawa, I need to see that fan base continue to show up. Winners help sell tickets. So I think we're going to see if Jeff Teat and that team can start winning some games, and, you get some Sens buzz going on in the city. I want to see more fans packing that arena.
Yeah, you're not going to sit an hour of traffic to watch a team get the doors blown off them. Winning is going to help.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Teddy, these next couple are going to be just for you specifically. So, we're not trying to age you here, but you've seen almost every era of the pro NLL. Where does this season rank in terms of parity and unpredictability?
I think it's the best we may have ever seen. I've been on 2 1-15 teams in my career, so there was some time where there wasn't a whole lot of parity in the National Lacrosse League. But I think this is going to be another one of those years where you have 5-6 teams at 9-9. You have a couple of teams at 13-6. You have some teams at 14-4. And then you have some teams on the bottom end at 4-12 or 4-14. You're going to see some in the middle. 1 through 3 is probably pretty solid, but 4 through 13, 14 is pretty tough. And I think the fact that it's just so many unknowns and the talent in our league right now is so incredible. Anything could really happen. You don't know. Buffalo could get a couple major injuries. Their season could go down the drain, just like what happened with Toronto last year. So I think the league is in as good of a spot as it's ever been, and I think the parity is as good as it's ever been.
Which rookie reminds you of a past NLL legend?
You had a good one on the pod.
Yeah, you're talking about
Pull it
Hiltz?
out of your head.
Yeah,
You're talking Hiltz and more athletic Joe Hiltz? No, or if he was a right-handed Sean Evans.
Yeah, the Evie.
But someone said it the other day. Maybe I can't remember who it was, that Hiltzy reminded him, or maybe it was Shanny, of Adam Jones.
Mark Matthews said that. Yeah,
I just love the way that Hiltzy plays. I think he was made for the National Lacrosse League. I know you guys waxed poetic about him in episode 1, but I just love watching that guy play. I think he's so smooth with it. I'm excited to see what he can do as his career goes on. Noah Manning is a Chris Pratt lookalike. A Victoria guy. He has an incredible nose for the goal. He's got great hands on the crease. He's very solid. His calves match Reese Dutch's. So there's another guy that just kind of reminds me of somebody else.
You finally get to ask a question, Dawson.
It's all good. Okay, this one's a little bit touchy, but NLL Box game is in Edmonton. Reflect on your time in Edmonton. By the way, this is the worst. This is the worst scheduled game on the schedule this season. Don't schedule a game on January 16th when Edmonton Minor Hockey Week is happening the same week. It's bogus.
The Oil play the night before, so that's a bonus for me. You know what? I had a great time in Edmonton. I didn't live in Edmonton when I was there. I was flying in and out, so I didn't get to experience as much of it as some of the other guys did, and they just had some hilarious stories. But, it was such a fun group. Most of us were all still pretty young, save for a few older guys. But we had such a fun time together. And that one win that we got that first year, I'll never forget it, in Calgary. The goal bounces. Cam Bergman picks up a loose ball, runs down, takes a shot. Palador makes a save, bounces off, hits Andrew Beers. It goes off his leg and in the net with like 0.3 seconds left. We celebrated like we'd won the championship. Bruce Urban was in the locker room. We were spraying beers everywhere. Like it was incredible. Paul Day, I owe so much to him. He drafted me to Rochester. He was there in Edmonton with me. Just helped teach me and so much about the game and how to be a professional. It was such a fun time. And the best part is as shitty as we were, we had great crowds. Like we were putting 8-9 in there. Bruce Urban being the showman that he was bringing in Dennis Rodman and Brooke Burke and Swollen members and all Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Like he was doing it all, right? Like he wanted us to feel like a family, and he was flying guys to UFC events and just making guys' lives a whole lot easier and enjoying being a professional athlete. So sure, we weren't great, but just had a ton of fun, man. It was a ton of fun. Like we'd get picked up by Blue Sky limousines. Jimmy was our driver. He picked us up every week from the hotel or from the airport, would drive us to the hotel. He'd drive us to the rink. He'd drive us to Dante's for the post-game show. During training camp, we had to push his limousine bus as a training tool. Like out in the middle of winter, no like shirts and shorts. Like
The
we're all
monster
going to
trucks.
catch pneumonia, but like we're here pushing this limo bus like 20 feet, just who knows why. Just so many cool, fun memories. But yeah, did we suck.
Did you ever make it to the ranch that year in 07, 06? Yeah, that was a party house.
Ranch, Oil County Saloon. Yeah, but Dante's was way out there. So they would give us like Edmonton cab chits. So whenever you needed a cab, you could just call them up and you would have a free taxi anywhere you wanted to go. So we were just using those all around the city. And guys who lived there would like call up the taxi cab and they would like, oh, can you take us to the grocery store? Yeah, sure. They take them to the grocery store, bring their groceries back. Hey, just wait a minute. We're going to drop our groceries off. Then, do you mind taking us for a ride? Like, where do you want to go? They're like, I don't know. Just drive around for an hour. We got free taxis. And it's just go on a tour of Edmonton in a taxi cab, just like wasting money and just like not caring. It was so fun. We had so many good memories. And then
How about the van, Teddy?
Times. Patty Campbell was there. Like he's just totally, Patty very well. Like that guy's
weapon.
Soul of the earth, and a weapon exactly, right? Like never a bad time.
Oh yeah,
when Patty's around. So
was the van there
tons
during your day?
Memories. What's that?
Was the van there during your day?
The van?
Yeah, the Edmonton Rush van. They had like that.
No, we didn't have the Rush van. He had just gotten the motorhome, I think. But Bruce would bust the cheerleaders down to Calgary, like when we had games, and the Edmonton Rush dancers would go on the floor like during a game. Like where would you see that in any other sport, right? Like
no,
it was awesome.
The national, baby. That's the national.
It's just so fun. Just so fun.
All right, we're changing the subject now that we're on that one. Now they're for Patty. Now they're for Patty. You study film more than half the coaches. What's a technical trend fans should look for this year? And you can't say the 5-minute timeout for every referee challenge that they can't see that it's a goal or not goal, and they got to wait 400.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Go ahead, Patty.
Well, little bit of a spoiler. There is breaking news. There is a new replay system coming in this year, where it's all the refs have a centralized, basically like think of like a tablet where they can control things. They don't have the guys out in the truck asking for
it.
So
looking at the jumbotrons.
They're not checking with the jumbotron, and that same platform that they're using, also similar platform for both benches. So they're going to be able to see the same angles on the bench. It's all going to be standardized. So hopefully that speeds things up, guys, because let's be honest, we don't like tap dancing around talking about nothing for 5 minutes, watching the same 4 clips over and over again.
I don't.
What was the one thing I've noticed a lot of teams are doing, and it kind of started a little bit last year, is whether you want to call it the dice or 2-1-2 power play, where they put a guy in the middle of the floor. Halifax did it a lot last year with Thomas Hogarth. Seeing Toronto Rock do it a lot with Challen Rogers, where the guy comes into the middle, set the hard seal either on the top, or when you have a guy like a Thomas Hogarth that you can feed it in the middle, you can also bury there. I've seen 2 or 3 teams do that in the preseason already. I expect to see more. One of the first times I did see that, though, shout out Sean Williams, Tanner Cook with Whitby. He used to do that power play all the time. I think we see a lot of teams do that this year.
I saw, it might have been Toronto, might have been Vancouver. It's one of the two. They actually went inverted on the power play. and played basically 2-2-1 with a guy behind the net.
Yeah.
So I don't know how often we're going to see that, but it's team sort of power play and setting up the dunk while 5-on-4. So it was an interesting look for me.
Patty, finish the sentence. This NL season will be assessed if
we have the parity that we think we have. If it's going to be the same, Buffaloes and the Saskatchewans of the world, and we expect Vancouver to be great, I think it will be an awesome season. But in order to get the casual fan invested, flipping on a game on TSN or on ESPN or at the bar watching and a game's on, every single night has to be a great game. It has to be a great product.
If the season goes off script, it'll be a good season. Essentially is what Patty's saying.
I don't like this next question Frick's asking. I don't like this question.
Why?
I don't like it.
Don't listen then.
Yeah, take your headphones off. All right, Patty, so give us one kind of aging player who's still kind of riding the coattails and living off of a little bit of reputation, and then give us one underrated player who's ready to take his spot.
Say that again. One player who is riding.
I think he's name someone who's washed. I think is what he's saying.
Not washed, right? But we're kind of living off of a little bit. I love how Dawson's killing himself laughing because he set me up.
Yeah, this is a terrible question.
Set me up.
You can't say anybody. You can't say anybody.
I like it. Let's put him on the spot. Give me one guy who's living off crap and one guy who's ready to take his spot.
I'm pleading the fifth on that. I'm not answering that question.
You can't answer that.
At all. Player looking to break out.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, real rapid. Player ready to break out. You already said it earlier in the episode, but Jacob Hickey.
All right, we'll get to our
Dylan Robinson as well from Buffalo. We'll go with another Ironhead, Dylan Robinson.
We'll get to our rapid fire segment, so old Grandpa Toll can go to bed here and tell us little stories like Teddy Ruxpin. Rapid fire here with Frick. We're sponsored by the good fellas at Loading Lacrosse, Tyrell Hammer Jackson, Jordan McBride. Use promo code TONKA95 for 15% off all items at Loading Lockstock. That's promo code TONKA, TONKKA, 15% off all items store-wide until December 23rd, 2025. One guy each. We'll go nice and quick. Preseason or MVP favorite going into the year.
Christian Del Bianco.
Christian. All right, defensive MVP.
Are we this favorite or who you
think? I don't care about the favorite. I want to know who you think is going to be
Callum Jones. Callum Jones out of Ottawa.
Latrell Harris.
Offensive.
Dane Smith.
Curtis Dixon.
Rookie.
Emphasis on rapid fire, Teddy, by the way.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie Hiltz.
Yeah, it's Hiltz.
Most underrated team.
How many times are we going to ask this question?
I know.
Rochester.
Halifax.
All right, and then who do you guys got winning the NLL Cup this year?
Vancouver.
Don't say how.
Buffalo. Why the hell would I go against Buffalo? Why the hell would I go against Buffalo, man? Until they lose, until they prove me wrong, and until 48 is not in that crease, and you got those two absolute weapons ripping it back and forth, snap it around, it's Buffalo. It was always Buffalo, and it's going to always be Buffalo until they're dethroned.
Do you question the health of Vince, though, this year? Do you question it?
No,
not at all. 43 years old.
Buddy,
he's the healthiest guy in the league.
I know, but I'm still questioning 43-year-old in a net.
You could clean your clothes off this guy's abdomen, man.
If he's out of the crease, they're not making it.
No shit. But
that's the thing, right? But like,
you could say that. Actually, this is fun. This is funny. What you said this. Someone else in one of my group chats said a similar thing about, I can't remember what team it was. Anyways, I said, look at every team and take away their starting goalie. They're not going to be good. I'm sorry. They're not going to be good. They're not going to win championship.
So who's the best team if they have to play their backup all year long?
I guess Rochester with
I think Orleman. I think it's going to be good.
Vegas.
Caleb, you got all this. I want to buy Caleb Kahn stock, but frick, you've got all of it. I can't even buy any.
99% of the stocks are on Caleb. I bought in early.
Wouldn't it be Halifax with Hutch?
They have
Halifax and Hutch.
Maybe Hutch. Yeah, that's a good pick too.
I mean,
Cadillac in Ottawa.
Or how about Deacon not in Philly?
But they go from what, last place to last place, second last place to second last place.
Second best. Who the best backup goalie was?
No, I said, but team was the best with their backup goalie in, not who the best backup was.
Well, of course he said Philly.
He doesn't pay it.
Of course he said Halifax.
I mean, if Caleb Kahn gets in, they have have the easiest
Let's move on from the
easiest schedule toll. They do
easy
on
schedule.
record.
They
have no
games
back-to-backs. They barely play against like any of the top 5 teams. So it's like an easy schedule going into the season.
He's going to start.
Pretty
if
easy.
they have Caleb Kahn playing, they have bigger troubles than Caleb Kahn.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, you can't be smashing the Caleb Kahn button in week 3.
Starting week 3 in Vancouver, their first game of the year.
If they're 0-2, he starts. Is that what you're saying?
They don't play until week 3.
Or just regardless, he's starting.
Regardless, I think
They don't play.
You're saying he's starting week 1.
I'm going to go to honestly,
Oh my God,
let's change the subject off him and then get rid of these guys because I'm not listening to this
Oh my
conversation.
God.
Like seriously, wasting time on
on
him. God.
You want to go?
Caleb Kahn.
December 13th.
All right, boys.
In Vancouver.
Oh my
All
God.
righty, boys.
All right.
Hey,
We'll write it down.
Teddy, thank you so much for everything you guys do for this game, the game that we all love. I appreciate you guys coming on. Great insight, great questions to follow it up with. You guys are two beauties. And Teddy, I'm glad to see you back in the booth this year after you said you were quitting and you're not calling any more games. So
there was a couple of fans that were happy that I said that. They wanted me gone.
Well,
there's more than a couple, but we won't say that. He
Fans.
served it right up.
Maybe
there
there might have been a color commentator beside him being like, yes, thank God.
Yes. Get him out of here.
I'm kidding. I love
Wow.
you, Teddy.
I love
You're
you.
my
All
buddy.
right, fellas.
But
All right,
honestly,
boys.
fellas,
Thanks so much. It was awesome.
thanks so much for having us. I appreciate everything that you guys do. This is not easy. It's not anyone could just pick up a mic and talk and be entertaining, informative. So give your guys self a lot of credit as well for putting yourselves out there. You're doing some great stuff. So keep going. I enjoy listening to the podcast, and I definitely enjoy story time with Steve Toll for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite.
everyone's favorite. Yeah. All righty, boys.
Thanks,
Thank you
boys.
so much.
Hey, boys.
Breaking news with the review center. That's going to change the game. Hopefully, the game stays at a faster pace. That's at the end of the day, that's what we want.
Yeah, it's.
What's your takeaway from that?
Hopefully this can speed up these reviews. Like some of them just get to be absolutely ridiculous, right? Like we're not putting the onus on the referees. We're putting the onus on the system, and the system is completely broken right now. So hopefully, Greggy dropping that bomb, that kind of fixes things up, patches up a couple holes. But just like it's solid sitting down, chopping it up with two beauty lacrosse guys like them, right? Like you got Greggy, who is just pure absolute insight every single time. And Jenner, like we said it in the episode, there's not too many guys that have been around this pro style of game like Teddy Jenner has, right? No. So, when you can get his just completely, absolutely phenomenal, knowledgeable answers like that, you got Greggy shooting from the hip. You got Pollard thrown in with his little quick remarks, and then you got me sitting in the background, right? Like it was a fantastic episode. It went a little bit longer than we were hoping, like everything that we've done so far, right? Like everything we've done, we're trying to chop it up for about an hour, but they just start rambling, and then I start rambling, and then Toller starts rambling, and then Don starts rambling. So you might as well just call us the Ramblers, for Christ's sakes. But it was fun. It was a good time. And again, like we say it every episode, that's exactly what we're about here. We're about having fun. We're about having a good time. We'll give you a little bit of lacrosse knowledge and a little bit of lacrosse insight. We're mostly here just, keeping smiles on faces, right, Dawson?
100%, man. Like, I'm just sitting through that episode watching you four go talk you guys back and forth. And I'm just like, what an absolutely four legends. This is the kind of stuff that people need to see. This is the kind of stuff that people need to hear, the stories, the breakdowns of why is this team going to be good? Why is this team going to be bad? What does this team need to do to get to the next step? Vancouver, Teddy kind of said it, is what's wrong with Vancouver after week 6. Who knows? They didn't have a good preseason. Let's see what happens when the ball gets dropped for the first time, right? When the ball gets down on the floor, zero.
Like
right?
That's what preseason matters. We know Curtis Dixon.
Yeah,
we know
100%.
We know
100%.
We know Jesse King. Like these guys are going to show up when it matters, and every single time somebody quotes this preseason garbage nowadays, it's 0.0.
.0.
right?
And it's a true fact. And if you listen to Kurt on his interviews post game, he'll tell you, I wasn't pissed off with this and that. But then he also says, like, there's a couple guys here who don't want to risk to get injured prior to the season, and 100%.
You can't blame them.
But you can't blame them. But there's some things in the games that like, whoa, how long is this going to take to click? Right? Dixon getting the ball, holding the ball. How long is that going to take? How long is he going to move it? Is that ball going to die between Dixon's stick and Keegan Ball's stick? Those are the questions.
We've had the same questions for how long has Curtis been playing now for? 10 years?
Yeah.
15 years?
Yeah.
It's the same question every single year.
Yep.
And every single year the guy continually turns around and tells us to shut up.
Yep.
Because it changes.
0.0. Yeah, but Frick, it's a true question now with you have two guys that are like the same type in both flashy players. That's kind of the one question I have with Vancouver. But Fricky, do you see what's going on Twitter right now? Mitch the Snoo is now a Buffalo Bandit.
Buffalo what?
Man.
Even the ghosts of Buffalo past just kind of shut the house and turned the lights back off and on here, right? Like, Chugger, like, give us a call. Get on the pod. Tell us what the fuck it is that you're up to up there, because it's just a masterclass of cap circumvention that he's doing. He's pulling everything off to the utmost legality of the rules, and whammy, we're just going to go and pick up Mitch Snoo, like out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, it's like we heard the glass shatter and it's your mouth. My God, Chugger Dietrich pulling off another massive trade. Like
100%.
I'm not sure of the conditions on the draft picks, but you gave up a little bit, and obviously like they're making one more push, right? But like I think the interesting thing is going to be here, Dawson, is when does this contract get signed, and how many years is it? Because again, we all knew like Buffalo's only 4 hours for Mitch to get, right? Yeah. So we're thinking that was kind of the selling point, but everybody knows he wants to be closer to Toronto. And he got a little bit closer, right? But we all know he wants to be in the GTA area. He wants to be with the Rock, right? Like right now, I'm sure he wants to be with the Bandits and make a big push. And that's not what I'm trying to say, right? But it's what's his contract going to be? Because if this is just going to be a 1-year contract, I would say that Paul Day did a fantastic job in recouping assets. If this is a 2, 3, 4-year deal, that draft pick better be good. Right? Because Mitch Snoo's top 5 D guy in the league right now.
No 100%.
Right?
100%.
So, like this draft pick, it needs to be a quality number, which like we're all predicting Buffalo to finish in the bottom third or the top third of the league.
Yeah.
Right. So where that pick's going to fall mid round, low
18th,
round,
17th, because it's a comp pick, right?
Yeah. Right. So like nobody's really expecting Philly to be a wagon this year. So
no.
Let's just pull a number out of our arse here. Let's say they get 2. So now they're sitting at 2 and then 16.
Yeah.
Do we think that's a good enough return for Mitch Snoo? And then I read something crazy like the second condition is if Buffalo finds another draft pick. Chugger, don't find a draft pick.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here? Like
that's the worst condition in the world. It's dumb, man.
How does
it's
that
dumb.
make sense? How does that make I'm
unless you want to handicap a team. Unless you want to handicap them.
I'm kind of chuckling underneath of my breath here because I just kind of lived the same situation with the Oshawa Outlaws of the Lacrosse League. We had to go. Pardon me?
Here we go with this.
Well, no, we had to go and try and find a third-round pick because the guy who, prior to us taking over, had traded a third-round pick that he didn't have. So, like, how and this was my question to the league, and the league handled it phenomenally, so I'm going to give them the utmost amount of respect for that. But first of all, how did the league allow them to trade away a pick that they didn't have? Okay, so now how is this the NLL allowing a trade to happen, but only if they go and find another trade partner to give them the pick? What happens if they don't get the pick? Paul Day just gets that 16, or does it go to next year? So it's a 26 first round pick conditional, which is going to be the compensatory pick, or however you say that word. And then the second pick is a 27 conditional. Yeah. But the condition is you got to go find it.
I mean,
it's an Easter egg gun for draft picks. You got to go look under your pillow, maybe find a second round pick.
The only thing that I can really see, Frick, is they want to cap him, right? They want to cap him so he doesn't go get that second rounder. That way, because that 2027 draft, previous podcast, 2 podcasts ago, I guess now, we talked about how deep these drafts are. So you're kind of making them, hey, if you go trade it, you're giving me a pick. But if they make a bigger trade, getting 2 second-round picks, maybe. But I again, Chugger, don't go and trade. But I have one question with this, and it's been blowing my mind all day. Derek Keenan or Chugger as a GM? Who are you taking?
No, I'm not answering that.
No.
I love them. I love them both.
No, I love Chugger.
Chugger's an ex-teammate of mine. He's always super, super nice to me. I've known Derek since I was 4 years old. My dad and him played together with the Red in the late 80s, early 90s.
That's why I wanted to ask you, man.
I'm going to cop out, and I'm going to take the hometown bias, and I'm going to go with Derek.
It's
in the same sense, Chugger, don't be mad at me because I love you.
If you put those two, let's say if one was a GM hypothetically and one was assistant GM, you're going to commit bank robbery with those two sitting side by side.
Oh, grand larceny. They better just have ski masks on a ski mask manufacturer on the speed dial.
100%.
They're fleecing everybody. But again, if Chugger or if Paul Day ends up with that conditional second round pick, which again, there's got to be some kind of a backroom deal like we've seen with Ticehurst and Walsh. There has to be, because
that isn't even dumb to me, man. How does that allowed to happen?
Yeah, I know Paul Day well, and he's a smart man. So by no means am I saying that he's dumb, but
no.
If we're not if you don't have a backroom deal done for this conditional second round pick, I don't see how this makes sense. But again, there's a reason why I'm a talking head behind a mic, and he's been an NLL GM for the last 10 years and built wagons every single place that he's gone. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that a professional sports league allows a trade to happen, but they can't have a second round pick, right?
No,
they can't have one right now, because if it's go find one and then you can trade it, they can't have one. How are you trading what you don't have?
I know it goes back to the same talk that we had with Del Bianco in fantasy. There has to be a fantasy commissioner. Well, the NLL has a commissioner. Stop doing these trades that don't make any sense. It's absolutely crazy to me. It's crazy.
It's wild, but Buffalo just pulling it off again. My favorite are all the the Breaking Bad memes out there.
Yes.
You see the one that our boys from the pod put on tonight?
Yeah.
They keep getting away with this. Chugger's just sitting in the bird going, yeah, I'm getting away with it.
100%. It's mind blowing. There's 12 GMs right now are just pissed that trade happened, right? I think if this Snoo goes to Toronto, I think it's a little bit better for the entire league. But this is just another fuel to the fire where teams are okay, now we have to try to get around Mitch to Snoo. Now we have to try to get around this. Now we have to try to get around that. Like, they just got that much better.
I would have loved to have a live cam in the track office today.
Oh man,
Jamie must just be swirly damn. Jesus Christ, our team and all Mitch Jones going goddamn Buffalo.
Oh man, that's you know what. As much as Jamie Dawick has that type of quality to him, he's snapping right now. He's snapping, but like, sometimes that's like kind of like look at the owner in Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys, right? He's making headlines. Jamie Dawick is probably that guy in the NL right now. In the money ass.
What do you mean? What do you mean in money ass? He's the poorest owner.
Well, man, I don't want to.
Wait, what do you mean?
The personality side effect. The personality side. He's always in the media, always causing something. And you know what? More drama in this league might be better. I don't know, because whatever's been working for the last 40 years in the league now, whatever's been working the last 40 years hasn't been working. So
I would pay a handsome dollar to see the live feed from the track this morning. He was snapping. I feel that.
I mean,
there's not enough left-handed cigarettes in the world for him not to be snapping.
It's kind of a handshake deal if like you get the first three picks of this draft.
Yeah,
and Oshawa.
You thought you were getting all three guys back, and then Carp said, "Yeah, you know what? I like the cheesesteaks. I'm staying. Hot treats are good."
Oh
right?
Man.
Like
yeah.
I like again. I like the drama. I like stirring it up, right? So it puts a smile on my face just knowing that the lacrosse gods are out there going, "You guys thought you were pulling a fast one. Well, here's a bird and here's a second one. Folks are staying and eating cheesesteaks. Mitchy Snoo's got some hot wings coming his way for the next year."
I mean,
and the only piece you got back and you thought you were fleecing everybody was Rosie.
Yeah. I think one of the good thing I think about this whole ordeal is at least Jake Dawson landed on the practice roster and no one scooped him up. Because if someone scooped him up, man, now you're looking for a defender.
Right. Like I went to bed last night and said my prayers and eat my vitamins, and I'm telling you, man, I was hoping that I was waking up to flip open Twitter or roll over and see a message from Willie saying, hey, we signed Darley, because like I'm on Greggy's team with what he was saying in the interview. I absolutely love Jake Dawson.
He's good.
He's young. Yeah, right. Like we're in the Arena Lacrosse League and we coach there and run a team, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I would love to win in the Arena Lacrosse League, but we know our goal is to get guys back up to the Pro League. So when I saw Jake get released there, I hopped on the phone right away. I'm like, Darley, like, just so you know, man, like we're running Oshawa, like I want to have you, like I don't want to have you for long, right? Yeah. But like I was pumped. So to see him land there, it's good. That's where he belongs, right? The kid's a phenomenal athlete. He's funny. He's funny as all shit. Like just the sense of humor on the fella. It's just so small town Ontario and raw and just right to the point that it's hilarious. But like he's built for that league, right? He's fast. He's elusive. His first four strides, he's like kind of like a Latrell Harris to where he's just gone. He doesn't he doesn't maintain the same speed or get up to this top speed, but those first four strides, like look the fuck out he can get going.
Let's touch on that a little bit. The league is more going into the transition role than ever before. What's the next phase that we see in lacrosse? We have transition is the biggest thing right now. Two-way guys of Ian McKay, Challen Rogers, Zach Currier, keep going down the list. Reed Bauer could probably play up there too, right? Owen Grant.
I just think it's the side, like the way of the times. You know, like it's everything in life goes in a cycle.
Yeah.
Right. The seasons go in cycles. You know, and so the sports landscape, it goes in a cycle, and we're gonna hit spots to where we're offensively dominant. We're gonna hit spots to where we're defensive dominant. We're gonna hit spots to where goaltenders are just absolutely phenomenal every single time, and then we're gonna hit spots to where guys are just freak athletes. Right? Yeah. All it takes is one guy to be a freak athlete, and then it's a snowball effect. And you see it the way that teams are built. The last 2 Stanley Cups were won by the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
So now everybody thinks you got to be heavy up front again, and you got to dump the puck in deep, and you got to crash.
Look how it's going this year.
Right? And 5 years ago, or whenever it was that the Pittsburgh Penguins won their back-to-back Stanley Cups, it was you got to be small, and you got to have skill, and you got to be a puck possession team. And then everybody built to that.
Yeah.
Right. So everything goes in cycles. Like the one cycle I would love to see come back is we have a little bit more of a sandpaper guy. Right. Let's get a little bit more sandpaper in the game, and then you know what, you might get my full attention back.
Like a Junior Fricky.
Well, Junior Frick was just really good at getting punched in the face. Okay, by no means would I say that I was tough. He was really good at getting punched in the face.
I mean, at least you stood there and not like someone who just runs around and tries to hide away from it, right?
Yeah, well, I learned at a very young age I was really good at getting punched in the face. And I remember my old man told me one time is you can't hurt stupid. So, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I can't wait for the text message from my mom for that one.
I think fighting needs to come back into the league. Frick, not a lot of people pay attention to preseason, but this preseason, 0.0, yes.
0.
But how many fights have you seen in previous preseasons, and how many fights do you think that will carry over?
No, because
no.
There's
games are worth more than the regular season. So why guys are fighting in the pre?
Get it out.
Just to get it out.
Yeah, how many guys are like? Let's say I don't know what quarter it was that Matt Beers and Warren Jeffrey fought. Okay, so let's just say it was the second quarter.
Yeah.
How many guys were dressed for the third quarter? Another 18. Another 16. Right? Did Matt Beers even finish the game? Was he planning on finishing the game? Right? So how happy is Kirk going to be, or Pat Coyle going to be, when like Warren Jeffrey is arguably their best defender? Matt Beers, and I'm going to state on record, I'm not a fan of Matt Beers, but he's a great lacrosse player.
Yeah. Right?
So he's top 5 on their defensive lineup. So how happy are those coaches going to be that they're sitting in the box for it's a minimum 10 minutes now?
Yeah, I know. I just don't think you can dress the guy though. Like just address a guy who's just a fighter.
You can't. Which is too much. Which is why I'm telling you that the fighting is going to drastically decrease from preseason until the regular season. Yeah, it's great. It is absolutely great. The league was the most dominant it has ever been in the early 2000s, to when you had guys like the King of 12th Street, Matty Green, you know, the big dog Dan Laddister, Terry Bullen, drawing a blank, Evvies, all 3 of them for Christ's sakes, Timmy O'Brien, Patty Campbell, who was a goalie who would fight, and like they would go out and like, you know, you'd go watch a Rochester game, and you know you're going out to see 2 Evvies probably combined for 15 points and 25 penalty minutes. Right?
Buffalo was no better back in the day, a couple of years ago, before Chugger made it.
Billy
made a
D,
difference.
Brandon Francis.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, you want to get butts in seats like they say on Shoresy. Well, I know it's a TV show, but how did they do it?
Fights.
Not even just the fights, just a little bit of jam.
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit of sandpaper. Like you don't have to fight a guy, but punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like
I think one of like our good friend Lax Tilly, he's probably not going to be too happy if there's not a lot of fights because he not going to have a lot of content then. But hey, I think, you know, I do think it has still a time and a place in this league, and I hope it gets to a better spot of guys running around taking liberties on people. I mean, as much as I know Jacob Power from the Edmonton, him going after Curtis Dixon in that situation,
that's chicken shit.
Probably not a good idea, man.
No, that's chicken shit. If you're, I don't know this kid from the guy that just walked down the street, right? Yeah. I'm not talking about his character. I'm talking about the move.
Yeah,
it's an absolute chicken shit move because if you're supposed to be, and I don't know if he is, I don't know if he wants to be. If you want to be a tough guy, walk by the bench, look at Subak, and say, "Hey, I'm going to make a name for myself. Come and punch me in the face." Because you go and you grab Curtis Dixon, who, again, love the guy to death. He's not fighting you. Why the fuck would Curtis Dixon fight you?
No, it's true, and we have seen Curtis Dixon fight in previous times, right? And that guy can actually throw. Like,
yeah, but if you're
he's not going to take. He's not taking it. He's not taking it.
No.
Not at all.
And there's maybe 3 people on that roster that should not be fighting instead of him.
Yeah.
Right, but like that, the only thing that's doing to your making a name for yourself is you're making your name as a goddamn chicken shit. You're gonna run around and you're gonna grab Curtis Dixon. You might as well grab me, for Christ's sakes. It's gonna be the same thing.
It's true.
It doesn't make sense.
True.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man. So tonight,
you want to set the tone. Set the tone. It doesn't matter if you go out and you tell Jackson Subak, "Hey, give me one tonight," right? Because he's gonna. I promise. Right, and it doesn't matter if he beats the absolute wheels off you, which he probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Right, if you're going out to set the tone, the decision of the fight doesn't matter.
How did you say it? Those 3 wires cross and it just goes bananas.
Oh, he's
Hey, on let's kind of change topics before this podcast gets long as well, but.
It's already long.
You know, when it is long, but
hours.
where this is coming out on Friday as everyone's watching or listening right now. We got Oshawa and Toronto. We talked a little bit about it. You don't think there's going to be fireworks. I think there's going to be fireworks. Our editor, Cam, thinks there's going to be fireworks. What else are you looking into this game that's not, you know, what should we take an eye look out for?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Did you see Cam's eyes when we were talking to him? Okay, we're going to take his fucking opinion. Come on. I think there's going to be a singular firework.
A singular.
One singular firework. But that's it. Right? Because again, like we just kind of talked about it. It's
Besides that, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at to see what kind of a pace Oshawa wants to play. Right? They have the makings to kind of dominate in all 3 facets of the game. Right? They can be physical at the back end, they can run out the back end, and they can be dominant on the front end. Right? We know the goaltending is going to be there. And for the Toronto side, how fast can CJ Kurz figure it out? Because it's a lot of pressure to put on the kid who it's his first year playing real box lacrosse, first year in the NLL, right? He had that little stint in McMichael to where it's just the athleticism took him to where he got to. right? It's now
100%.
we got to figure out the IQ. We got to figure out the X's and O's. We got to figure out the nuances of the game, because we know Mark's going to show up.
Yeah.
Right. You know Bushi's going to hit 3 goals without his feet even touching the ground.
100%.
Right. You don't know, but you got a good feeling Hiltzy's going to be okay.
100%.
Right. Rosie can be really, really good or really, really bad. I think he's trending the other way, but that's just me, just a talking guy behind a mic. Gods didn't like that. This is getting nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Every time I say something controversial. Anyway,
For sure.
But it's going to be, for me, it's a 3-part process for Toronto. It's can CJ Kerrs figure it out quicker than what it looks like he's going to figure it out? Can Nick Rose go back to being 5 years ago Nick Rose, where he single-handedly can win a game for you?
He just got to go back to 2024, right? 2023, 2024 season. He gets to that point, Toronto's in the playoffs, no question.
Yeah, and it's the back end, right? Like, is the loss of Challen Rogers push and transition going to be a little bit too much for them to overcome? Like, we kind of seen it last year. Right, the kid's a freak athlete, and he's an offensive lacrosse player, but he kind of has transformed into a defensive transition role, and to me, that's where he's most effective. I don't understand why they just don't go light numbers out the front door on the right side and let Chow run up every time. This whole having to go 3-3 thing to me, it's dumb.
I mean, totally kind of explained it the other, like, I think episode 1, man. Like, he said, you know, on bench side, you're going 3 guys out the door, right? On bench side, on offense, and then on weak side, you're going you're 2-man. And, you know, he explained with Jonathan Donville how that's the case. So maybe I forget the bench side in Toronto, but whatever side is the weak side now, just let Rogers run up and down the floor.
Well, yeah, it's 4.
Let him go.
It's 4.
Bushi,
yeah. It's same.
Yeah. Two quarters. Let him play 2 quarters out the back gate, and let him play 2 quarters out the front gate if you need 3 guys.
Yeah, no. Right? See, I just run him out the back gate every time and say, if you want to stay, stay. And you got your 4 and 2 out the other side. Like, you're like just having to have 3-3. Just for the aesthetically pleasing 3-3.
100%.
It's the same as when Babcock always needed to go left and right with the Leafs. They're all pros. Who cares? Who cares? He makes so much more of a difference in the game in between the lines.
Do you think if Toronto brings a righty, they make that much better? They're not much better?
I think Jamie has to be actively shopping for an offensive right-hand shot right now, so they can move Challen Rogers back to the back door, and not because he's that good defensively, and not because he's that bad offensively. It's because he's a goddamn freak in between the lines.
Yeah. I mean, him and Latrell on the back end pushing the ball, that's a scary duo.
Not nasty. That's like Steve told Jim Veltman back in the day. One guy go gets the ball, just throw it throw it forward. Right? Like, he used to tell us all the time as kids, and Jimmy and Steve. Like, I wouldn't even look for Toller. I just pick the ball up and throw it. No, I know where he's going.
Right down the middle. Yeah. Let him run into it.
Right?
Fricky, it's getting late here. It's been one heck of this past week's been nuts. You've been winning championships. Toller's been, doing his beautiness lately. I just came back from Hawaii. People have probably seen you and I in about like 4 different hats the last probably 2 podcasts. Cam's been editing like a madman.
Yeah, welcome, Welcome, Cam Mancini. Mancini Media on Instagram. Look him up. Kid does fire projects. Welcome, Cam Mancini Snaps.
The last thing I'll leave everyone off with, if you didn't listen to Thursday episode and you listened to this one because of Pat and Teddy, you made it this far. TFL giveaway is only up until halftime, and then that's it. If you go after halftime, you're not in. That
God.
being said, you go on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, comment your Instagram name, say I subscribed and I followed, and that's 10 extra entries. 10.
Or hey, let's throw a little bit extra in here too. If you can get it, slide in the DMs and tell us where Steve Toll was a leading point getter for in junior lacrosse, junior hockey. Which teams were Steve Toll the all-time leading point getter for? Slide in the DMs, you get one extra entry.
P.S. It was in one of the podcasts. Alrighty, Frick. Thank you so much, man, for jumping back on today. I've probably seen you the last 4 days in a row, and I'll see you Monday after all the games.
No, I can't wait, Dawson. It's going to be a big weekend. I love lacrosse, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, see you, Frick. Enjoy your night.